Hey there, it's Larry and Barbie, and we are on our 2019 road adventure. This is what we're calling our Jasper to Jackson adventure, although there's a lot to do before we ever get to Jasper, Canada. So we left home a little over a week ago now, and we drove for 6 days through pretty much nothing but cornfields.
And a lot of heat.
Yeah, and it was hot. But our first destination, really, we knew we'd be doing sightseeing, was South Dakota, and we knew we wanted to spend some time in South Dakota. We had been here, it was in 1987, and we basically were on our way to the Tetons and Yellowstone, and all we did was blast through South Dakota. So we're thankful that we're here and spending some time now.
One of our stops in South Dakota was at a decommissioned Minuteman missile site near Wall Drugs in Wall, South Dakota. And it was impressive and scary to say the least. You actually get to go out. If you plan ahead, you can get a tour down into the guts of the site. We didn't do that, but we got to see the partially opened silo door, look down into the silo and see the Minuteman II missile still sitting there.
Yeah. Evidently, those tours of the launch site where the two people would be down in there, basically waiting, for something terrible to happen, but mostly just be sitting there waiting. You can get a tour of that, but I asked, and here it is, July, and she said that it was booked out until September. So you really do need to plan ahead if you want to do one of those tours, but I'm sure it would be amazing. After 6 days of road travel, we're at the Badlands, and it's just breathtaking.
Yeah, today is just perfect, except for a touch too much wind, which you may be hearing. But the sky is blue. The contrast between the rock and the ground and the beautiful plants with yellows and greens are very striking.
So we're in sightseeing mode now.
If you get a chance to come to the Badlands, it is definitely a must-see in South Dakota.
Hey there, we're here at Custer State Park, and we're enjoying not only the park, but the Black Hills. This is a fantastic area. I think we've said that Custer State Park is much more like a national park.
Yeah, they do run it. The people here, the quality of the operation is much more akin to a national park. As I was talking with one of the campground hosts, he said, yes, we get that comment quite a lot. There's so much to see and do within about a 30-mile radius here. If you want to see buffalo, and I know we'll see them in Yellowstone, but you can really see them here in Custer State Park. Okay, babe, you start.
Okay, so we are on the wildlife loop in Custer State Park, and we drove, I'd say, well over half of it. Beautiful country, no wildlife, and then
Wildlife.
bam, there was the whole buffalo herd in the middle of the road, and we were like the first in the line of what ended up being I don't know how many cars.
And we didn't take the extra insurance on the rental car.
Yeah, for buffalo stampeding your car. We're sitting there thinking, red, is that like what they talk about with the bulls when they do
Yeah, and our little rental car is red.
Are they going to be attracted to our rental car? But they were huge, and they were coming straight for us.
Yeah, there were a couple of bulls in there that made our rental car look like a roller skate.
Oh my God.
Well, good morning. We are still in Custer State Park. We're headed for the Needles Highway. And from the pictures we've seen, this should be a pretty spectacular drive where you have tunnels that are carved out of solid rock.
So one of our favorite things we did here was go into Spearfish Canyon.
Yeah, Spearfish Canyon had, the canyon itself was beautiful. We found today when we went to the Mammoth site where Spearfish came from. It's actually a rock formation. And in the Spearfish Canyon, the drive was just spectacular down the canyon itself. Plus there were three of the most beautiful waterfalls I've ever seen. And if you've looked at any of our previous videos, you know when I get the opportunity I like to photograph waterfalls. And these were not disappointing at all. One of them, Rough Lock Falls, while it was not the tallest fall that we've ever seen, may have been one of the most beautiful because of the combination of water and texture and types of waterfalls and color. It was just amazing. Well, hi guys. We're at Mount Rushmore, as you can see from the background. It's a warm day, but a beautiful day, and it's been pretty spectacular, the things we've seen, and this is just kind of capping it off. My daughter who made the recommendation that we stop and enjoy some of Thomas Jefferson's vanilla ice cream, and I guess the recipe dates back to Thomas Jefferson, and I have to say it tasted really like homemade ice cream, and it was phenomenal, and the portion that I got was big enough for several people.
It was ridiculous.
They were not skimped.
Yeah. Today, we really, originally we were thinking we were just going to kind of take it easy today because we get back on the road tomorrow. But we decided it was so beautiful that we wanted to get out, and we chose to go to the Mammoth site in Hot Springs.
Yeah, and the Mammoth site is the largest in situ mammoth dig in North America. I won't give you all the history here, but the dig is inside a building. It is still active. They have found the dig goes down about 20-something feet. Was found in the 1970s, and it's taken them that long to dig down where it is now. And they know that there are fossils at least another 40 feet down below this. But if again you're in the area, that is really a must-see if you enjoy any kind of history, and especially paleontology.
Yeah, and the story behind it is really interesting. There was about a 10-minute movie that we saw first, and it explained how the formation occurred. It was originally, to make it short, a sinkhole that then filled with warm water, and it's about 140,000 years ago. And the mammoth, along with other animals, would come up to the edge of it because it was nice and warm water when it was cold, and unfortunately they would fall in and could not get out. And then over time, that was filled in with sediment.
And the sediment solidified, and so the bones were encapsulated.
Yeah, so it was extremely interesting. Yeah.
Long story short, if you're going to be in this part of the country, you can easily spend a week in the Black Hills and in Custer State Park.
Don't zip through.
No.
Don't just do Mount Rushmore and zip through.
Right. You will miss.
Make this a destination.
You will miss. Yeah, as Barbie said, you should make this a destination. It is really worth the time.
So next, we're on to Devil's Tower.
Yes.
But until next time,
make every day the best it can be.
See you later.
Bye now.